Hey, hi, stuff, hello, and stuff. Oh, I've been eating too much candy here lately. I'm gonna get fat, but that's okay. I love me even if I am fat. I'm a chubby, chubby little panda. The trash panda, the fat ass candy eating panda that eats all the snacks. But in my defense, they were warheads and they are delicious. Been on the X-Files kick here lately too, so that's what's been up. If you're gonna lurk, I'm gonna annoy the shit out of you. I'm just gonna throw that out there. Lurk, 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 lurk. I would play the Stalker's Anthem, but I'm afraid you would see that as a love song, and you're weird. I'm just saying. Hey, Dark. I'm gonna boop, boop, a boop, boop, a doop, boop, a doop, boop, 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 a doop, boop, 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 a doop, boop, 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 boop. Not sorry. I'm annoying all the lurkers and weirdos. Hello. Hey, Dark. Easy, big boss. Blossom, blossom, blossom. I'm just annoying the shit out of people because I can. I'm trying to figure out what this post is and who this is. Oh, okay. It's actually already snowing here. Easy. Let me see. It's not really storming. They said it was supposed to be 8 to 12 inches, and it's not. Maybe a foot. Maybe. I'm gonna look and say winter storm warning. Okay. So the winter storm warning remains in effect until 7 a.m. Heavy snow to be expected. Total snow accumulations between 7 to 12 feet in this area. I don't know about your area, but I know it's still snowing here. Don't dox yourself, easy, by the way. Hit me up on Discord if you want me to look up where you are specifically. I guess I could have got off my ass and yeah, you could have. You could have, easy. But you didn't, did you? Did you? um This is interesting. Has anybody heard of the side eye guy? That's crazy. He seems to be like, I don't know that I like his take on Beardo, but he's actually pretty funny. Beyond that, like, I get it. Beardo can be abrasive to some people, but if you're genuine and respectful to what you're doing, you have no reason to be afraid of Beardo. If you're doing nothing wrong, you have nothing to be afraid of. Beardo is not going to come out here and just target any paranormal channel. The only ones he goes after are the fabricated evidence shit. He doesn't go for that. And neither do I. I feel like if you post fabricated bullshit, you need you need something. I don't really need to say it. What the fuck is that? I don't know whose face that is. People need to stop being immature and messing with people's faces. That's ugly. Didn't your parents like discipline you? Why do you gotta distort people's faces and make them look a certain type of way? Didn't you outgrow bullying? Grow up. Like, I can't scroll through YouTube without somebody or seeing somebody like post a thumbnail with somebody else's face on it and make it ugly. You have no couth or tact or dignity, people. That's just gross. Okay, so I wanted to look into the Peter Pan theory because there are some theories that Peter Pan was actually a demonic entity. That there's supposedly a true story behind Peter Pan, and I'm kind of interested. So I'm gonna make you guys come with me to explore this rabbit hole, and that he is evil. Give me 2 seconds, and I'm gonna go real quick and look to see if anybody's like hidden on my channel that isn't somebody. Because, you know, reasons at my mod list. I'm going to play this in the background while we wait, though, so you're not just sitting there waiting. And hid over time, and then the aspect of the author J.M. Barrie and his involvement with these children, the death of their parents, and according to some sources, he became an unofficial guardian. I'm going to make a full video in the future about that because the sooner you look, the more disturbing it is. So this video is just talking about Peter Pan, why he is evil, and then we are going to talk over how he connects a little bit to the author. So in this video, we're not talking about the Walt Disney one necessarily. We're going to be going back to before that. But you're going to notice that a lot of the things that you see in the disturbing elements, they're still trickled in, but they've been kind of lessened over time. So originally the concept of Peter
Pan was created by this man, J.M. Barrie. In 1902, he wrote a book called The Little White Bird. In The Little White Bird, that's the first time this character, Peter Pan, ever appeared. All you really need to know, and he is flying around in this park, and this park and all the visitors are gone for the day. So this little 7-day-old baby, for some reason, had magical powers. He flew out of his window, flew around, and by the time he went back to his house, his mother already had a new baby and the window was closed. So Peter Pan, that's why he doesn't have a mom in the original story, The Little White Bird. But I'm going to skip over The Little White Bird for the most part because this 7-day-old version of Peter Pan is not super recognizable to what we know Peter Pan to be later. While the book, The Little White Bird, was not very popular, the parts about Peter Pan were popular. So then J.M. Barrie decided to go ahead and start adapting that further. When I do my next video on J.M. Barrie, you'll see how potentially Peter Pan might have been a grooming story for these children, in my opinion. In 1904, he adapts it into a stage play, and this is called Peter Pan, the Boy Who Wouldn't Grow Up. Originally, J.M. Barrie wanted to name this The Boy Who Hated Mothers, but there was pushback from the people who were helping him, so then it was changed. So then he wanted to call it Peter Pan, the Little Boy Who Couldn't Grow Up, and then that was changed to The Little Boy Who Wouldn't Grow Up. In 1911, this stage play gets adapted into Peter and Wendy, also known as Peter Pan and Wendy. So in this novel, this is the Peter Pan and the story we would recognize today. So you have Peter Pan, Wendy, the Lost Boys, you have Captain Hook, Tinkerbell, the crocodile that bit off Hook's hand, who ate a clock, so he's always ticking, Neverland, all of it's here, but a much more dark and disturbing version of it. All versions of Peter Pan that you've seen are very much based around this novel. On the surface, one of the big differences is Peter is much younger than he's portrayed. In the Disney films, he looks like he might be a teenager or close to that age, but in these earlier books, he was much younger, somewhere between 8 and 10. Now, in the books, you're kind of unsure what Peter is exactly. They only describe him as being between and betwixt a bird and a boy. In the book, Peter Pan is described as wearing an outfit made of skeleton leaves. And in these early depictions of Peter Pan, he is playing a flute, sometimes to small animals. And another thing in these pictures, in these early depictions of Peter Pan, is that you'll see that his hair almost looks like it's tied up, or that he has small horns. And this seems like it might be far-fetched until you look and see that he's playing a flute for small animals that are dancing, and that there's actually chaos all around them. There's basically a battle that's about to happen. And when we take all of that evidence and more and put it together, he looks a lot like the Greek god Pan. Now, first off, his name literally is Peter Pan. So Pan also plays the pan flute, and he's the god of shepherds and flocks, which makes sense why Peter would be playing to these small animals. So another thing about the god Pan is that he enjoyed and could cause panic and chaos. The word panic in English actually comes from Pan. And Pan would really revel in this chaos that he created. It was almost as if it was fun for him. So one thing that Peter Pan and Pan seemingly have in common is that they both will cause chaos for their own entertainment, which will make more sense in a moment. And they can be very cruel when they're pursuing their lusts. And then we see that Pan is always depicted with these small little horns that kind of look like small ears, just like Peter's. And then we also know that Peter goes out and he will fraternize and hang out with mermaids and sirens. And a lot of the early art, there are depictions of him doing this, flying over them, sitting with the mermaids on the rocks. But these creatures were feared by humans. So the fact that Peter is seemingly unaffected by them, it's almost as if he is something more than human himself, akin to maybe some kind of supernatural creature or god. And that's why he can hang around with these mermaids and sirens. Peter using his flute also to make these small animals dance in this art is very reminiscent of the Pied Piper. In the story of the Pied Piper in Germany, there was a piper that came along, and he came to this town that was having this huge rat infestation. He told the people of the town he could get rid of the rats if they paid him, so they agreed to that. He played his flute, which lured all of the rats out of town, and he lured them into a river where they all drowned. The piper then goes back to this village and he asks for his money, and the villagers refuse to pay him. So then the piper uses his flute to lure all of their children away from the village into the water where they also drown. And it's weird when you look at the elements of the story and the way everything unfolds. If you look at it through a different lens, it's actually quite disturbing. Peter has been breaking into Wendy's room and sitting at the foot of her bed each night and playing his flute. One night while doing this, he's caught and his shadow abandons him. Peter Pan then bursts into their room, waking them up. He says that his shadow has gotten away and is somewhere in the room and that they need to help him find it, which, just looking at that at face value, that's very much something a groomer would do, right? It's like the I lost a puppy, can you help me find it, or any of those things that they teach in Stranger Danger. He tells Wendy to sew the shadow back on him so he has her make physical contact with him. Then he tells the children about this magical place called Neverland, and he says there's mermaids and there's pirates, and he makes it sound really fun, but the text lets us know that Peter is actually trying to lure the children away from their house. And then he tells Wendy that she can play mom to him and the other Lost Boys. But when the kids get to Neverland, first off, Tinkerbell is jealous of Wendy immediately, and she does something which almost causes Wendy to be killed by a pirate. The only reason Wendy doesn't die is because she has an acorn necklace that Peter gave to her, but she had to kiss him to get it. Again, you're seeing like these very groomy things come out over and over throughout the story. And then when the children get to Neverland, Neverland is not this amazing place that Peter sold it as. There's actually a perpetual war going on between pirates and these Lost Boys. And mind you, these Lost Boys are children. And so these children are fighting against full-grown adults. So Peter is luring these children to come fight as child soldiers in his army. And Peter Pan doesn't need the extra help. He started this war. As far as the book says, he started the war between him and Hook when he cut off his hand. So then he drags these Lost Boys in to come fight full-grown adults as children. And as you might expect, some of the Lost Boys die. So as they're in this chaotic world, some of the Lost Boys start to be killed by pirates. But the ones that aren't killed by pirates start to age. And everyone is very confused about this except for Peter, which he then turns on them and murders them. And that's the trick of Neverland, is the reason you don't age in Neverland is either because the pirates kill you or Peter does. And this is the quote from the book talking about when the Lost Boys find out that they are still aging. The boys on the island vary, of course, in numbers, according as they get killed and so on. And when they seem to be growing up, which is against the rules, Peter thins them out. That's right, if you don't die by the pirates in Neverland, Peter will kill you himself. And this whole point has actually brought up books and movies, and a lot of people hypothesize that the pirates that they're fighting against were previous Lost Boys. If Peter tricks people into coming here and to fighting against the pirates, and he's going to kill them at a certain point when they age, it's possible that some of these Lost Boys ran away, defected, and joined the pirates, and they're now trying to kill Peter, who is their enslaver and captor. So there's even a movie and a book about how, what if Hook was actually the original Lost Boy, and he was Peter's favorite Lost Boy? Because another big part of this is that Peter Pan says that the Lost Boys were all orphans. But that's not true. We know that he went and got Wendy and her brothers and brought them there, and now they're part of the Lost Boys group. It seems as though Peter goes and he tricks children into running away from their families because he hates mothers. Remember, it was originally called The Boy Who Hated Mothers. And
he's right about that, by the way. I was going through my thing. Yeah, it's snowing pretty good, actually. Yeah, Peter Pan's actually quite the dark story. Let me share this. I don't know why it's not.
I think you've always been there. And then he tells you after a certain point that, no, you were just an orphan and I took you in. And then he tricks little girls to come in and become the mothers for him and these other boys that he's tricked to be there. The entire thing is absolutely insane. And while this is going on, Wendy and her brothers, their parents are crying and they're absolutely devastated because their children have been abducted. They're not having fun. So originally at the end of the book, the kids do happen to remember their parents. They had completely forgotten about them, but they remember while they're having a conversation. And they all desperately want to go home. So they immediately start flying back. And Peter flies ahead of them and puts bars on their windows so they cannot go home. And then once he sees how devastated the parents are, he takes the bars off the windows. The children are reunited with their parents, and the parents adopt all of the lost boys. And then there's an extra chapter that J.M. Barrie wrote but didn't include originally, but in later releases it was included. And in the final chapter, we see that Peter Pan comes back every generation, and he takes Wendy's daughter, he takes Wendy's daughter's daughter. So it's a generation of grooming these children to take them away. If you're still not convinced that Peter Pan is somehow evil, when the biographer Andrew Birkin was working on the biography for J.M. Barrie, he was allowed access to his early versions of the script, as well as his personal notes about Peter Pan. And what he found is originally Captain Hook was not in the story at all, because Peter Pan was actually the villain. Peter Pan in these earlier versions was much more cruel, and J.M. Barrie recognized that Peter Pan was the villain. No other villain was needed. But then later Captain Hook was added to the script and Peter Pan was lightened a little bit, but we still see all of these villainous traits that he has. And honestly, looking at it objectively, he has no positive traits. And my last piece of evidence was when Andrew Birkin was looking through J.M. Barrie's work. He found that J.M. Barrie, in his notes about Peter Pan, described Peter Pan as a demon boy. So as you can see, there is an insane amount of evidence that Peter Pan not only could be, but is evil. He was the original villain of the story. And not only that, he's still the villain. It's just that over time, we've been groomed by the story, so we don't even see it for what it is. And one thing that it makes me think is Peter Pan, does he look as he presents? Or does he present as a young boy because that's the easiest way to get children to follow him away? What does Peter Pan actually look like? Maybe he's some kind of entity, demon, alien, what have you. And this thing can look like whatever it wants. Sort of like your Pennywise the Clown. Ultimately, after doing all of my research, I am convinced that
personally, I don't believe he was a demon. I believe he was what they call an elf, because I don't know if you're aware, but there are different types of elf. Not all of them are the same. You have your dark elf, your white elf, your elemental, extraterrestrial, I want to say there's fairy-like elves, pixies. I mean, there's like a fuck ton of different variations to elf. People think elf and they think Santa Claus and North Pole. No, not at all accurate. Irish folklore kind of got it right when it comes to the elves. There's brownies, there's house elves, I mean, it just goes on and on. And what I believe is that Peter Pan was a dark elf, and he came to surface level and took the kids back to the dark realm, basically Middle Earth. It would have seemed like a paradise at first, and you wouldn't be able to get out unless you could go through millions of miles of caverns and climb hundreds of thousands of feet in the dark. You would have been trapped there. And then they also tell you in a lot of folklore, never ever go up a set of stairs that are in the middle of the woods or in the middle of nowhere. If you see a staircase, don't touch it. I believe that Peter Pan was taking children to another dimension or to Middle Earth, wherever the dark elves are. And I don't believe he was human at all. Now, he could have been a demon. That's not out of the question. Because if you think about it, demons can present themselves any way they choose. As whatever they're going to present themselves as to what it would be pleasing to you, what would be most enticing to you. But you also have to think that demons aren't the only things that can do that. An elf is very much capable of masking. But they also aren't the only types of cryptid that are able to do that. There are things called mimics, skinwalkers, druids, just to name a few that would be capable of doing that. There are so many different entities that could be. It could be a jinn, could be a demon, could be an elf, could be a mimic, a skinwalker. Some wendigos are able to do that. Oh God, the Watchers, yeah. And you cannot cancel out or render irrelevant the question of aliens. Peter could have been an alien. Like, people believe in aliens. Aliens probably would be able to mimic someone that you'd be comfortable with, and they would have to probably to be able to fit in amongst other species. They would have to be able to somewhat mimic what human would look like, or whatever species they're trying to interact with. You can't count aliens out either. So, I mean, I don't believe he's proven that it's demons. I believe he's been successful in making you question it. So I believe he did a good job of making you think. And he has some valid points, but he's also omitting that there are several other options besides demon. There are vast options besides demon. So many alternatives that he's not saying. Hey, Kiwi. He didn't mention elves. Elves can shapeshift and mimic. Didn't mention aliens. They too can shapeshift and mimic. Skinwalkers, wendigos, mimics. All of those things can do that and have been known to do that when luring in their prey. Dark, are you going to come your ass up here and do this with me? Hello? Him. But you may be me. Yes. Meanwhile, I'm waiting on Dark. I'm going to push play on this.
Peter Pan is actually a demon. And that's right in line with the actual author's notes on the subject. So like I said, I'm going to do another video where I go into depth about the author, and then we're going to look into what happened after that. And unfortunately, the story is extremely tragic. But I think that's where I'm going to leave this for now. But I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please let me know in the comments what you think. Maybe you know more evidence that I've missed. Let me
Hey,
Hello. Hello.
so what do you think
Don't know.
about Peter Pan? Do you think he could be dark or evil?
I think it's dark.
Do you think he succeeded in making you question it?
It makes me question it. Yeah, definitely. Oh, and do your cookie fund? I was told to tell you.
Oh, but I'm a scammer. Remember?
Oh yeah, I forgot. Still post your
Totally
cookie fund.
people, totally scam people that never sent me any money. That's weird. I'm sorry. Kind of hard to scam people when nobody sends me any money.
Post it anyway.
I'm doing it. I'm working on it. And that.
I don't think I can pin. I suck at pinning shit. I'm still
You stuck
learning.
in what?
Pinning things. I'm still learning.
Oh yeah, don't. I'm not good at it either. But there, I've posted my Nookie fund. I mean, same thing. Nookie cookie. Give me some Nookie for the cookie. Nookie now. Me cook you a long time. Oh, that sounded like I was just gonna cook you. Cannibalism is bad.
Cannibalism.
Yeah, that word.
God. I was like, what's he trying to say?
I fucking can't say it. I don't know why. Cannibalism. Cannibalism. What the fuck?
Cannibalism.
That word. Yes. It's bad. Okay?
It's very bad.
That's a really bad attempt at saying
Panda's
that word
lost
too.
it. Panda's lost her mind.
No, I just can't say that word. Kind of little bit. Cannibalism.
How come I can see you saying that word? You're like old Mr. Mackey.
What?
How come, like Mr. Mackey? Cannibalism is bad.
Cannibalism is bad. Why can't I say that word?
I don't know.
The fuck? I had no idea I could not say that word until I tried to say it.
That's funny.
Cannibalism.
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 Say cannibal.
Cannibal.
Bastard.
Cannibals. The fuck is it? What?
That's funny. The words you can't pronounce.
Camel. Cameling is bad.
Cannibal. I'm not gonna be able to say it. See you guys. I was.
Well, now we've discovered a
It's
word.
my love for my head.
It's kind of like aluminum.
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 Aluminum. Aluminum. Aluminum.
Chocolate time.
Aluminum.
Aluminum.
Aluminum. Cannibals.
Oh shit.
I give up.
She
I can't
has.
say that word.
Why we say that word anyway?
I don't know, because I said I will eat you or something like that. Or what I said sounded like I will eat you or cook you. And I says cannibalism is bad.
She's lost her mind. Don't worry.
I'm gonna make my fucking trolls happy because they're gonna make fun of me for that. They were like, next headline: Panda can't say cannibalism.
Now tell me more about these Peter Pan.
Peter Pan probably can say. Peter Pan can probably say cannibalism. Bulls.
I bit my jaw.
But no, the theory is that Peter Pan was some kind of demon. And they do make you think, hey, Peter Pan could have been a bad guy. They've succeeded in making you think about it here. But I don't feel like they've proven to me or presented enough evidence to me to say that it's a demon. I think too many things get passed off as demon with little to no evidence to back up why they believe it's a demon.
True.
Because the reason he says it's a demon was solely based on a couple key things.
Peter Pan was a vampire.
That he was able to present himself as a child, that he looked like a child.
A possibility.
That's not a singularly demonic trait, because you hear of mimics doing that all the time to lure in their prey. You also have skinwalkers that are able to imitate or impersonate people.
But does demons age?
But what I'm trying to say is this guy's acting like the demon is the only option. But also, if you remember correctly, elves, certain types of elves, are able to impersonate humans. Like, they can present themselves with a mask so that what you see isn't what they actually are. Elves, mimics, wendigos, skinwalkers, certain types of fae, fairies, aliens. All of these things that I've listed are also able to do that same thing that he is completely and totally based his theory on, that it's demons. all of those things are also characteristics of the other things I've mentioned, not just the demon. So I can't say with a certainty that I am sold on the demon part. I don't believe he was a demon. I believe he was an elf because of certain characteristics that he showed. I'm like torn between elf or it could be a demon, but it could also be an elf. Or a brownie. Brownies can do that.
Could be a vampire.
Let's see what this dude says.
3. We can fly! We can fly!
The boy who shaped our childhoods, made us fall in love with the idea of being stuck forever as children, of life being nothing but fun and games, is not only that. The author, J.M. Barrie, may have left hints here and there about the true dark nature behind his adaptation of the character Peter Pan. The fun elements of Peter Pan, hanging out with Tinker Bell, their magic dust, his quarrels with Captain Hook, his fun banter with the Lost Boys, his story with the Darlings, particularly Wendy Darling, made us adore the character, maybe even a bit too much. Let's wait no longer to investigate whether these theories are incorrect or whether we've been seriously deluded since childhood by this beloved literary character. Now, just before we go into our explanation, we have a small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to the channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means an awful lot. So thank you very much. Now let's begin. Who is Peter Pan? Peter Pan is a stunning adaptation of a character created by author J.M. Barrie. Barrie made Pan appear as a side character in his novel The Little White Bird, which was then published in 1902, but he then eliminated the character. And
Do you have any theories?
No, I'm just. I don't know.
Did you ever read The Little White Bird?
No, I haven't.
Oh, also, we have an announcement for our audience.
Uh-oh.
Starting sometime this week, I don't know that it will be tonight. There may be a little bit of it tonight. But I've decided that I was going to go on Reddit and pull, like, ghost stories, cryptid encounter stories, hauntings, all things paranormal. Did you know they put that on Reddit?
Yes.
On Reddit, people post their own personal experiences with hauntings and ghosts and paranormal and cryptid stuff, and that I was going to narrate some stories from Reddit once or twice a week, where I will primarily just be reading stories off of Reddit to you guys. And we can maybe even vote once a week for the best story of the week.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And I can put a poll of like the top 5 I figured that y'all like the most. And I'll put it on a poll and you all can vote. And then based on those votes, if they are a particular type of story, I can do more of that type of story. Kind of get a baseline for what we like and what we don't like, kind of thing.
I like that idea.
Plus, it has us interacting with the audience. And it's more personal, it feels, you know. And a lot of these stories have never been heard before because they were lost on Reddit. You know, nobody read them or nobody's narrated them yet. So
Some people have, but not very many. It's very, very many.
But I mean, like, stories you maybe never would have heard on YouTube. You know, just And then it'll also be that these stories won't be the same old recycled ass stories because there's very little of it anyway. And what is on there is just circulated over and over again because nobody wants to take the time to go through Reddit. But I've seen some really amazing stories on that platform. So I'm pretty excited about that. I don't know about you, but we can also
That's
get our
good.
cryptid
Yeah.
stories too. And you never know, they may have picture or video footage because you can post videos on Reddit. Like
Okay, you really?
Yeah, or links to videos. And we can watch it like if they have footage of their story.
Me either. I don't know hardly anything about Reddit.
Could be interesting.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, help me find my shadow. Yeah, easy. What are we talking about?
Reddit?
No, not us. Oh my god. Kiwi.
In a self-indulgent play titled The Boy Who Wouldn't Grow Up. The storyline in which Peter reappears raised public concerns. However, the plot revolved primarily around Peter Pan as a baby when he encountered fairies and birds in London's Kensington Gardens. They taught him how to fly and twinkle in the sky all the time. It's worth noting that J.M. Barrie may have drawn inspiration for these characters from his long-lost brother, David, who was an early teenager and whom his mother and himself fondly remember as a boy. Barrie further expanded the 1904 play Peter and Wendy into a novel which was published in 1911. It's understood that as an infant, when Peter returns home to his mother after spending time with the fairies and birds, he discovers another baby at his home. This instills feelings of rejection and he decides to go away forever. His homeland becomes Neverland, where he lives with his friend Tinkerbell, a fairy who is rather possessive of Peter Pan. Aside from Tinkerbell, we see the Lost Boys, who play and have fun with Peter in Neverland. It's widely assumed that these are missing boys who were children who had wandered away from their parents back in London's Kensington Gardens. And so Peter Pan takes charge of them, creating a fairy tale-like place that provides happiness and a sense of only good things. In the film Peter Pan, he overhears Wendy Darling narrating and self-talking about bedtime stories and about Peter Pan. Wendy, along with her brothers Michael and John Darling, are invited by Peter Pan to visit Neverland, to which they readily agree. It was satisfying too that while Mrs. Darling is narrating the bedtime story to these three children, the shadow of Peter Pan was left in the dog's clutches, where it was then pressed and safely stored in a drawer. To get it back, Peter and Tinkerbell return, asking Wendy to stitch up the shadow. Wendy appears to Peter Pan to be a good mother figure for his Lost Boys gang. There's also the character of Captain Hook, of course, who is constantly seen in battle with Peter Pan, and Pan's abilities to mimic and trick people usually help him out of such difficult situations. The fact that he can fly without wings and make objects fly too, thanks to Tinkerbell's magic, is unusual. He seems to also have difficulty keeping track of time, as his promises to meet Wendy every spring when she returns fall flat, as Pan doesn't remember her, nor the Lost Boys, nor anything else for that matter. His memory is short, and his promises are open-ended. Even in the film, during their flight to Neverland,
I do too. And I'm gonna sub to you
Wow.
just because he's Irish and I have a thing for accents. Hey April.
Hi, April.
We've missed you. Oh, you're okay, dear. I'm just glad you're here. It is sexy. I love me a good old Irish or Scottish accent. That's one reason I like Beardo so much is because of his accent. Awesome.
I like English.
I had the hots for one British guy once.
Ugh, I
And
love the British.
I think he was English, or British, something like that. Right, Easy Street. Do they know what angel dust is? Everybody can fly on angel dust. I'm just saying. So, what do you think so far about it?
Different twist. I never really thought that when I was a kid, especially, but now I don't know.
But like he kidnapped a bunch of kids.
Yeah,
Not all of them went back. In fact, most of them didn't.
Pan keeps forgetting about the darlings and asking for a reintroduction every time he crosses them, which bothers Wendy and makes her extremely annoyed. Peter Pan appears to ultimately live in a fantasy world and wants to keep it that way. He doesn't want any adults in Neverland. He enjoys the company of the younger children, returning to them as adults as they continue to age. However, constant attempts by side characters to kill the main characters as they age demonstrate, perhaps, that there's something more to this story than first meets the eye.
I didn't know a codfish could...
Journey of Peter Pan. Before his appearance in J.M. Barrie's big feature, Peter Pan appeared in a number of films and television shows. Even afterwards, we were able to witness various adaptations of this character, and we're going to talk about a few of them. Peter Pan 1924. It's in 1924 that Paramount Pictures releases the first film edition of the Peter Pan story, which was entirely silent. In contrast to the play, this is the first film in which Tinker Bell is portrayed by an actor. It's an entertaining and ultimately sweet-natured movie. The Peter Pan movie, 1953. This celebrated version of the Peter Pan story presents us an animated version of the boy and tells a musical tale about him taking the darlings to Neverland, where they meet the lost boys and, of course, Pan's nemesis, Captain Hook. This movie version is also quite pure in nature, retaining its innocence, as Disney altered the core text slightly to remove the darker elements. Hook, 1991. Steven Spielberg's direction features a battle between an adult Pan and his old enemy Captain Hook. Unlike the popular belief that Peter Pan never grows up, this movie depicts Pan as an adult. The film's main cast included Julia Roberts, Dustin Hoffman and Robin Williams, of course. Capturing the main essence of this film, it was more a parody than a version of Barrie's works, but it was enjoyed by many audiences. Return to Neverland 2002. Disney releases this animated musical sequel to its original film, Peter Pan, in the year 2002. The film continues the original story by featuring Jane, Wendy's daughter, who is initially quite dismissive of Wendy's stories about Peter Pan until she finds herself stuck in the clutches of Captain Hook. Peter Pan 2003. This was another live-action film. The storyline was almost identical to the previous release, and it included some romances between the character Peter Pan and Wendy Darling. Neverland 2004. The film, starring Keira Knightley as Tinkerbell and Bob Hodkin as Mr. Smee, follows Peter and the Lost Boys as pickpockets. They're hired by Jimmy Hook, looking to steal a magical orb that would allow him to travel to Neverland. Overall, not as memorable, but still a good watch. Pan 2015. This is the story, or the backstory, should we say, of Peter Pan, including his current location, his stances, and his relationships. Hugh Jackman appears in the film, and Peter in this film is generally mischievous, funny, and smart. Overall, another good watch. Peter and Wendy, 2015, a sequel to Pan, 2015, but with a very different approach. This story deviates from the original to include some creative elements. The story begins with an ill young girl telling Pan's story to other children. She sees herself within the story, and then it unfolds from there. Wendy, 2020. This movie, while following the same plot as the original works, deviates in terms of the main character's focus. In this movie, we see more of Wendy and Captain Hook's perspectives. The themes of youth and overcoming ageism remain central to the film. However, there is another element of seriousness to it. Come Away, 2020. This movie combines Peter Pan with Alice in Wonderland. It has excellent visuals and takes a unique approach to the original movie. Alice and Peter, who have lost their older brother, end up in a fairy tale on their way to sell a family heirloom.
Peter!
Is Peter Pan a dark side story of the author? Regarding J.M. Barrie and his intentions with this publication, there's a lot of rumours and theories. His writing, which tells the tale of a child who never grows up, became intertwined with his own life narrative and his interactions with George Llewellyn Davies, a 5-year-old he met in Kensington Gardens. Nobody is entirely certain about the specifics and the intimacy shared between J.M. Barrie and his wife, despite the fact that he was married. Simply put, as far as the author's intentions or actions with younger boys are concerned, no negative remarks have ever been made about him. Any unfounded rumours are perhaps better described as interpretations, but nobody, not even the boy's father or mother, objected to or limited Barry's proximity to boys. That reveals a great deal about his behaviour and his mannerisms and goals, perhaps. He told George and his brothers the story of Peter Pan, which eventually became a big hit when it was turned into a play in 1904 and then later a book in 1911. Like anyone else, J.M. Barrie needed love and perhaps could be lonely, but regarding any accusations of paedophilia, well, it's never been on the cards.
Peter!
We're 50 pirates.
It's a she!
Huh? Her?
Why were the Peter Pan shows potentially unsafe for children? Because Peter Pan and the Lost Boys could fly without the fairy dust of the original story, there's a rumour that Peter Pan was a little too dangerous for child audiences. The author felt compelled to include a foreboding element to his story when he learned that children were hurting themselves, attempting to fly from their bedroom windows, trying to join Peter and his gang. There are additional reports of children attempting to fly even after the addition of the fairy dust into the narrative, as well as reports of children attempting to fly without realising this was a requirement. It's a little harsh to reflect this on J.M. Barrie. However, some stage productions of Peter Pan went so far as to divide child audiences into two groups according to their IQ. Overall, given the popularity of the story, especially the animated versions amongst children, the addition of the fairy dust in order to be able to fly was seen as a novel and welcome choice from the viewpoint of many concerned parents.
Well, come on, Wendy. Let's go.
Where are we going? To Neverland.
Does Peter Pan truly manipulate children? Peter Pan carries an adult affliction. He is seen to grow furious in the presence of adults, arming himself and equipping himself by any means to rebel against adults. He also consistently sides with children on the surface level, notably assembling an army of lost boys. He wants to broaden and expand his concept of Neverland to include children where they will never grow up and can have all the fun they want in life. Wendy Darling is expected to grow up, with her parents constantly asking her to act more mature, but the child in her chooses Peter Pan's bait of remaining a child with no responsibilities. And so she flew away to the island, where we see any adult character attempting to kill Wendy. What's more, the mermaids, the crocodile and Tinkerbell represent Wendy's time, which would soon come to an end because she must become an adult, and that adult could never belong in a place like Neverland until Peter Pan had lived. It's said that Peter Pan despises adults to the point of breathing twice as much to kill adults out there. That's in accordance with a theory that one breath in Neverland equates to one death of an adult outside. He can be pessimistic and controlling.
Wow, I never seen this in Peter Pan.
Right? Easy's like, thanks for ruining my childhood.
Yeah, no kidding.
You're welcome. I mean, he has
Yeah.
a point, though. He's literally abducting children, and think of it from the parents' side point of view. And how many children
That's
go missing.
true.
Yeah. Me either. Easy. Why did I click this? Childhood ruined.
Yeah, you were my childhood.
Oops. I went for a fun stream and I ended up ruining everyone's childhood.
True.
Oops. Yeah, it does. It gives you a different perspective, that's for sure. But now that I think about it, the more and more creeped out I get,
Hmm.
quite frankly, because ugh, hmm, this is interesting. Is Cain still alive? I've got a lot of Christian people who follow me, and this would be interesting. It says, is Cain still wandering the earth? That's a good question.
Well, some people believe Elvis is still alive.
Through jealousy and resentment of his younger brother Abel, would lure him out into the fields and strike him dead. This narrative leads us to believe that with Abel dead, there were only 3 people left living on the earth: Cain,
Maybe, I
his
don't know.
father Adam, and his mother Eve. So there was not too much speculation as to who had fired the smoking gun, or, in this case, the smoking rock. The biblical God is shown to be far more active during these parts of the narrative, and so he already knows Cain is the murderer and sentences him to wander eternally. The idea of someone wandering the earth eternally is quite a fascinating and provocative concept, especially for someone like Cain, someone literally capable of murder, no less. But this perpetual wandering has often come under scrutiny from readers and scholars alike, with many debating as to whether this meant Cain also received an eternal existence, whether Cain was still lurking around in the events after Genesis, and perhaps on whether he's still wandering the earth today. In this episode, we'll aim to explore both sides of the argument and present some of the more outlandish and controversial ideas that have since been thrown into the hat when discussing Cain's perceived immortality. It's important for us to understand the account in Genesis, which tells us exactly the extent of Cain's punishment. When the biblical God finds Abel's body and accuses Cain as being the culprit, he tells him, "Now you are under a curse and driven from the ground, which opened its mouth to receive your brother's blood from your hand. When you work the ground, it will no longer yield its crops for you. You will be a restless wanderer on the earth." Upon hearing this, Cain laments that this is more punishment than he can bear. He also points out that the punishment is kind of unfair, in that not only is he being driven away from his home, but that anyone who finds him might kill him anyway. So as to ensure that this did not happen, the biblical God said unto him, "Not so. Anyone who kills Cain will suffer vengeance 7 times over." Then the Lord put a mark on Cain, so that no one who found him would kill him. Outside of this, we don't really know what happened to Cain, as the Bible shuffles him off into obscurity shortly after this passage. We do know that his wandering saw
they
him
do.
journey to the land of Nod, which we are told was east of Eden. Later, we are told that Cain was able to find a wife, and even had a son named Enoch, before committing to a project that saw him building a city, also named Enoch. It is here that scholars agree that Cain's wandering came to an end. It is possible that after having started a family and started a city, that Cain would naturally have settled down here, and though whilst he was still unkillable, courtesy of the mark, he was still susceptible to old age, which naturally came to him. You'll notice that the mark God placed on Cain ensured that Cain could not be killed by any person. or at least it dissuaded anyone from trying. But this did not protect him from hunger, thirst, disease, or again, old age. There is also the prospect of accidental death, something later explored in
Oh my fucking god. The rock
What?
grab of BC. No, Abel didn't want the rock. Cain just, used a lot of the rock. Yeah, he liked his rocks. Talk about a stone throws away, Talk about being stoned.
Yep.
That is interesting, though. It never did really say whether the way it's worded made it sound like he's still wandering the earth today, that he's incapable of dying. So that would mean he wouldn't age ever.
Yeah,
Now,
but he
is the
just
mark
said that he would.
or an ailment? Who can say? I mean, I don't know. I've wondered about
I
this
don't know.
myself.
I'm not. I don't know.
the Book of Jubilees.
There is some theory, though, Dork, that the marking was, if there were a vampire to exist, it would have been Cain, because God marked him and cursed him to walk amongst the earth and the shadows and basically ignored, and nobody could kill him. He's immortal. And how fitting would it be that to stay alive, he had to partake in blood, what caused him to be cursed in the first place.
Never thought of that.
There are some theories that Cain is the father of all vampires, because think about it. If you were going to curse somebody, wouldn't you curse them to have to, suffer some way with how they offended,
Sure.
If it was the blood of his brother, wouldn't an apt punishment be that he have to ingest blood in order to stay alive? He would have to watch everyone and everything he ever knew wither away and die.
Never thought about that, really.
Cursed to walk the earth forever. You can't die. You can't get attached to anyone, because you're just going to have to watch them die over and over and over again. That's a curse. That's not something you'd want. It's a philosopher's stone. Easy street.
Where Cain's death come about due to some natural calamity or some kind of misfortune. Another argument suggests that because so much time had passed between the murdering of his brother and the starting of his family, that Cain had changed and repented for his sin. With this, the biblical God allowed for him to settle down, and in time, drove the mark from him, allowing him to be unburdened by any sort of immortality. These ideas all coincide with the conclusion that Cain probably isn't walking around today, but rather he either expired naturally or befell some other fatality that the biblical narrative deemed too irrelevant to include. A greater argument against Cain's existence and survival throughout time is simply the biblical flood. As told to us in chapter 6 of Genesis, the flood wiped out everything. all animals of the sky, the land, and all the people, who at that time had been deemed wicked and unsavable. Only Noah and his family had been chosen to survive, and only the creatures who were aboard his ark were spared of being drowned. Since the biblical narrative does not mention Cain here, it's reasonable to believe that if Cain was around during those times, he would have perished here. On the other hand,
Not if he's immortal. Genius. Okay, anyway. Do you want to look up more paranormal games?
Mhm.
Or look at cryptids?
That's paranormal
Oh,
stuff.
this is funny. Worst ever.
Widows, Bosgulls, how are we all doing? Now, this is probably the smallest channel I've ever been asked to look at. They've only got 129 subscribers, but I got an email. I'm not going to read the name out, I'm not going to show it. Request to look at a channel. Please take a look. You probably have already. Northern Paranormal Team. I was screaming at the TV within 5 minutes at this shit. Sorry, but you have taught me a lot and they need taken down. They were asked by a family to look into their home, especially a child's room, as their daughter is badly affected. If I could have reached in the TV, I would have slapped the pair of them repeatedly. Thank you, kind regards, M&L. That's all we call them. Oh, I've never watched this team. I've never heard of this team. So this is Haunted House, undisclosed location, very active, Northern Paranormal Team UK. 277 views, as I said, 129 subscribers. Now, normally I wouldn't watch a team this small, but this is somebody that's gone to a house to investigate a haunting of a house where there is a child present. And you got to be careful. You've got to be so careful when you're doing residential hauntings. I mean, we've seen some rather large YouTube channels that will go into any shithole or any TikTok faker infested house and say, yep, that was a demon. We're going to throw some holy oil around, wave the Jesus stick, use apps, use god awful devices that are no good to man nor dog. And I say, yep, there was a demon
Sorry.
here, but we got rid of it because.
That's not the
What?
way you described it.
Yeah. I love him so much. This is Beardo Gets Scared.
Oh, okay.
Good dude. Maybe collabing at some point. He's right though. They
Yeah, he
were
is
for
very right. I haven't seen this
And-
group, but there is people like this.
Well, yeah. It's like, I like what he stands for. If you're faking it, he's going to call you out. Because he does believe in ghosts. He does believe in paranormal. But he also believes you should have integrity and not fabricate evidence.
Exactly.
And if you're out here faking shit, he will crawl up your ass. Yeah, Fallen's right. There are books left out of the Bible, including the ones the Catholics use that the Baptists don't.
Yeah, that is true.
I know. I've studied enough theology to be able to be a minister, as a matter of fact. Isn't that a scary thought? There's a lot missing out of the King James.
I cosplay as Fred Durst. If you know, you know.
Cosplayers, pastors.
Wait, let's get into this. Haunted House, undisclosed location, very active. I know nothing about this team. I don't know if they North England, North Scotland, North Ireland, North Wales.
Right, we're at a location. The house we mentioned earlier in our posts, a little bit about this house. Basically, there's a bedroom, which was a little girl's bedroom, and yep, she should sleep there perfectly fine. It was her room. On one night, on occasion, they went into the bedroom and she was stood in a corner, staring at the wall in the dark. So we didn't know if that was sleepwalking or not. They turned around and said that, they thought it might have been sleepwalking, put her back into bed. That kept happening on a regular basis.
Not shitting on the original complainant about this, but yeah. Kids are weird, all right? Kids are weird. My parents used to find my brother sleeping on top of a chest of drawers and all sorts because he wouldn't stay in his bed. Whereas they couldn't get me out of bed. I would sleep through anything when I was a kid. But they've called a team in.
To where now the child won't go in that room. No matter what, he won't go back in that room. He won't even play in that room. And is now set up bed in the parents' bedroom. Now, one of the things they've asked us to see if we can find out is what could be in that room, and hopefully try and get the little girl to go back into the bedroom because she can't stay with the parents all the time. So all the photographs have gone off the walls. We're keeping it completely secret, completely private, as we've been asked to do.
Other than the fact that you're recording a YouTube video out of it.
And we'll investigate and let's see what we can find.
I'm sorry, what decade was this filmed in? Oh, it's 5 months ago. Sorry. It just had that old feel to it, The camera quality and the intro just reminded me of something from the early 2000s.
Hey, guys.
Maybe that's done on purpose.
Right, I'm taking over now. I've got some new tech here.
What's that?
Has been given to me by Pete. And he's let me use his new tech. But we're going to do a sweep with this K2 meter.
Right. Obviously, I've recently come.
That guy looks like the Dollar General version of Chris Cornell.
Of who?
Lead singer of Soundgarden. He's the Wish, Eddie Vedder, or what is his name? Ah, shit. Axl Rose.
Oh no, not even close to Axel.
I said he's the Wish version. He looks greasy and like some
He looks
old 80s hair band.
Yeah,
Still living in his mama's basement kind of guy.
I can see that.
Covered the K2 and why it's not really fit for purpose, etc. There's a lot of contention about that. It is what it is. My immediate thought is he's just gone, this bit of kit, and he's called it a K2, and it's not a K2. A K2 is a specific brand. Now, this is a K2. It's got the K2 stamp on the back of it and where it was made in New York. That is not a K2. It's an EMF meter, but a K2 is specific to this model. Maybe the black ones as well.
We'll pick any readings up on that, so we'll go down in there.
It's because you just switched it on.
No, but it's supposed to go down.
Okay.
It's fluctuating.
Okay.
At 5. It's in milligauss.
I know what he is. He's the Dollar General version of The Undertaker.
Yeah, that I can see.
Dollar General Mark Coates. Dollar General Undertaker. On my way. Fallen, you want to get up here, sassy frass?
Keep here, Fallen.
Yeah, fall in, get up here.
No. Show me up here.
Kicking butt. I'm actually Norse, but like I know a lot about Christianity and the Bible and stuff because I got sent to a private school and I got a thorough education in it. So I can literally sit here and talk theology with you all day long, but I won't. Because I don't want to, but I could. Apparently these ditwits are using knockoff equipment and staging evidence.
Do you have your phone in your pocket? And look where you are now. This far away from that router, you're probably not picking anything up. That far away from the TV, you're not probably picking anything up. But look at your surroundings. They don't understand the K2. Same as I didn't. I was just using the K2 and like, ooh, look, flashy. There's 5. That's high EMF. Ooh, that's why I'm feeling creeped out. I used the K2 more for debunking purposes than anything, and it's useless for that.
Yeah, Millie goes. Okay. It's staying on fire. It's fine. It's going down.
Yeah, because you've got further away from all the electronics.
2.5. That's not that, is it? Yeah,
It will be that, yeah.
Yeah, it's the broadband.
Wi-Fi.
Yeah. I mean, everything's switched off.
Yeah, that's the only thing that's not switched off.
No, but everything else is switched off.
It's gone here. Oh, a minute. It's gone back up again. Around here. Is any appliances around here?
It's a kitchen.
The fridge, the microwave, the freezer, the...
Fallen, are you coming up here, woman? Yes or no? Get your ass up here. Meow. Meow. I will start singing, I swear to God.
Oh God, please.
I'm gonna sing. Fallen.
What?
I'm gonna sing.
Check Discord.
There's nothing on Discord. I don't see anything.
There. It's there. You're checking the wrong chat. Oh, fuck. Fuck that happened.
Now I forgot how to get back to my YouTube thing. Oops. I'm not always stupid.
You just play one on TV?
Yeah. I just play an idiot on TV. Apparently I have Jedi mind tricks and I manipulate the masses with my Jedi Panda mind tricks. Because I have like superpowers. Give me snacks. Give me snacks. Boogity boogity. Give me snacks. Is it working?
No.
Oh. That sucks. I want snacks.
the washing machine, plug sockets, unless you've turned the trip switch off, the means, of course you're going to get EMF in there.
Probably. No, he killed that quick. That day, you've got to be right on. He's cooking a dinner. What's the Sunday roast? Yeah. On a Tuesday, I can't remember what day it is, mate. Monday, Tuesday, isn't it? I don't know. Is it? It's Tuesday, you freak. I'm not seeing second days. Don't try to stay out of the kitchen because they've never said anything in there, and there's lots of not been cleaned.
I'm getting the distinct impression that this is one of these two guys' houses, and they're taking the photos down not to out themselves. It's just the impression I'm getting.
It does kind of give those vibes. Vaughn, right? It kind of looks like Vaughn. It looks like a manufactured home.
Might be.
But, like, look at this shitty wallpaper.
Yeah, just get that shitty wallpaper.
If you put that kind of wallpaper in my house, I'd haunt the fuck out of you, too. Just saying. These idiots are walking around, not turning anything off. Literally, the electricity is still on because you can see the freaking lights on everywhere. And they're walking around with an electronic meter that doesn't even work as an EMF reader or K2. Oh, we got this. Yeah, because you've got the lights on, idiot. You have electricity running. Yes, it's going to go off. These people are not smart.
Like, don't film in the kitchen. It hasn't been cleaned. There's been a few little phrases and things said in the first 3 minutes and 43 seconds where I'm like, this is one of their houses, right? Just the impression I'm getting. I could be wrong. And I've seen that before. Somebody investigating a family member's house or pretending to investigate it, claiming they're not family. Put up a video and like, look at this demonic activity in this person's house. And it was his mum's house.
Ooh. Just seen an orb.
Oh, for fuck's sake. You haven't seen an orb. You have seen dust while the pair of you are moving about in this house.
Get off.
Right.
He's getting so mad. He's like, for fuck's sake, you're not seeing an orb. You're seeing your flake of dust. Your dirty ass house. Hello, Beardo. Right, QE? It does give those vibes, though. Hey, Dark.
Yeah.
Do you think this is a legit haunting?
Oh, hell no. They're about as haunted as my freaking socks.
I mean, your socks are probably more haunted. I can smell
Probably.
your feet. I know my feet are more haunted than this house. Do your feet sweat?
Yes.
Mine do too. Like, I got some fur boots, and my feet like will sweat until my socks are like dripping wet. It's weird. I didn't realize your feet could sweat until I got fur boots, but apparently they can.
This is so.
It's a weird topic, huh?
It's a very weird topic.
I'm being a shithead. Talking about feet sweats and cannibalisms.
Yeah.
I
She said it.
said cannibalisms. I will eventually say that word.
Hmm.
You're looking down in this bottom left of the screen as you're looking at it. His right. Ooh, just seen an orb. That's dust.
Ooh. Just seen an orb.
There's another piece. He didn't call that orb out, which is just streaked across the side there, which is a thick reflection off this box as he lifted it. Not spending any time on it.
Orb in the left-hand screen.
This is staying on 3, isn't it? There's no electrical.
No, I've just seen an orb completely fly to the left-hand side. All the power's turned, well, not the power, but all the appliances. Ooh! And another orb flying up the screen.
Yeah, you'll take that.
That was not an orb, and it didn't light up the screen, and your oohs are not convincing. You look bloody ridiculous, going ooh, ooh, every 5 seconds, catching absolutely nothing. Okay, dear. How convinced are you, Dark, in his evidence?
0.
Ooh, you mean his ooze didn't convince you?
Oh no.
You're totally convincing, though.
Oh yeah,
Couldn't possibly be the same fucking piece of dust swirling about, could it?
Goosebumps now.
Does anybody here, can you actually talk through this device? This is a spirit box.
Another orb.
Oh my god.
Staying up.
They're flying round you at the moment. They're flying all over the place. I've just seen them.
There's no bloody electrical on the couch.
3 words.
Idiots.
Dust your house. Just say it. What is it, Dark?
These guys are idiots.
They are. It's almost painful.
If you're at home and you think that your house is potentially haunted, don't call these people in. Don't call people in. Oh, don't call people in. I mean, my best advice would be don't call a YouTuber in. Get hold of somebody from some sort of paranormal research society as opposed to somebody doing this for clicks and views. I'm still not convinced that these are in somebody else's house. I think it's one of these guys' houses or their family members. But, ooh, orb, look, you're surrounded by them. It's the same bit of dust billowing about.
Just a coat where all the photographs are.
This is sweeping.
Ooh, I'm still seeing orbs flying around you, mate.
It's fucking dust. Like you just said, the house hasn't been cleaned. The kitchen, you won't even go in there because it's a state or it's messy by your standards. But there's wallpaper peeling and paint peel on door frames and things like that. There's going to be dust.
Have you got the Paratech on your phone?
Sticks?
No, the Paratech.
No.
It's the communication app. It's amazing.
No.
But it's not. I've never heard of it, to be fair. But you've gone into... Right, let's just pretend, like these are, that you've been called... I'm joking, I don't know that. But let's just pretend that these guys have genuinely been called into a haunted house where a child is scared of the bedroom. And so far, their method of investigating is to use an off-brand EMF meter that we know fuck all about, and a spirit box, and then a mobile phone app. That is how they're going to tell if this house is haunted, and they're recording this with a Tito. Probably a camera phone, but the quality, not great.
You have to edit this show. You're talking to me, but we're finding bloody things here.
No, Matt, keep it going. I'm not bothered about editing. It's all live. It's the way we are. I can't see. We can't see what we're doing. We didn't bring the
You put your fucking glasses on there like I got mine. I can't see shit at the
I
moment.
don't need my glasses. I just needed a torch, but I've got it going.
Not even my glasses are helping with this because, I mean, look at the quality of this. I thought it was a YouTube setting, but it's not. This is generally what they've released. I understand not everyone can afford equipment, but if you're going to spend a ridiculous amount of money on that box that's in your right hand and possibly a stupid amount of money for a bit of equipment in your left hand, wouldn't you be better off setting that money aside for a better quality camera? Just saying.
Anyway. This is staying on 3.
Yeah, and there's a lot of orbs. A lot of orbs.
There's a lot of dust.
I love the way he has to stop and correct them when they say there's a lot of orbs. He's like, no, it's a lot of dust. It's a lot of dust.
It is dust.
And
I
also,
mean, watching
he's got
I
a
know it's
point. Like,
dust.
they're supposedly researching this house because there's a kid that's afraid to sleep in their bedroom. Shouldn't they be taking this a little more seriously? And
And why are they in the bedroom then?
I don't know. And then this guy over here claims, I can't see anything. Okay, well, then how can you see the orbs if you can't see anything?
Good point.
And why does he keep looking directly at the camera if he can't see anything? That's a contradiction right there. And
Sorry.
this is just,
Yes.
oh my God.
I know you're idiots.
I've seen another one then.
Oh my god, stop
It
it.
pisses me off they go in there
That's saying on
houses
3.
like that.
And that's fluctuating. Look. It's fluctuating.
Yeah, there's orbs galore, mate. Orbs
That's on
galore.
3 and that's on 2.
When you look back on this, there's orbs flying up all the time.
Hell, I'd been before.
There's no windows open.
Hold on.
Ooh, I've just seen another big orb slowly pass down the right hand side.
That's 3 and that's 3.
Yeah, I've just seen an orb fly down the right hand side. Seriously. And it was they're flying past the screen at the moment.
Do you know what this is? This is somebody that has watched a couple of episodes of Ghost Adventures, a couple of episodes of Most Haunted, grabbed the camera phone, gone into somebody's house with the intention of saying it's haunted either way for YouTube. This is exactly why I don't think YouTubers should be allowed in people's private residences. I've been asked to do it, and I've said no. I've directed people like Kev K, who can put you in contact with people that are not going to just use dog shit equipment and go every time a piece of dust or an insect comes past.
But that one went very slow. Very slow.
Well, this is on 3. Let me put that on there. I'm going to get this thing. I want to get this pod.
Now, isn't it amazing when that key 2 was in his hand? Because this one he's put down looks like the black model key 2. As soon as he puts it down, it stops fluctuating. Now, what could be the cause of that, I hear you ask? Why are you so... everybody has one of these in their pockets these days, and if your phone isn't in airplane mode, it plays havoc with K2s. I can't say 100%. Maybe he doesn't realise what it is, but to me, it just looks like his phone is setting it off.
Yeah. At the moment, yeah. I mean...
Quite active. You've got a key 2, you've got random key 2 spikes in a home where the broadband is still switched on, and your fucking phone is probably in your pocket, and you're pulling out dog shit equipment.
Yeah, it's everywhere around the house, not just in.
We need to speak to her if there is a spirit here. Obviously.
Where shall I put it here?
I don't know. No, don't put it there because the light will flash off the mirror.
Tell you what, put it there.
Yeah, you can do.
Is it fucking broad daylight? Did he just show that window and it be broad daylight? And if it's gonna flip my computer, but 1 second.
Fucking phone is probably in your pocket, and you're pulling out dog shit equipment.
Yeah, it's everywhere around the house, not just in.
We need to speak to her if there is a spirit here. Obviously.
Where shall I put it here?
I don't know. No, don't put it there because the light will flash off the mirror.
Tell you what, put it there.
Yeah, you can do.
Oh my fucking God. Did you catch it that time, Dark? It's broad daylight outside. Look at the window. I'm going to rewind it one more time. Look at the window when he crosses over there. The outside window is fucking sun shining in the damn windows.
Need to speak to her if there is a spirit here. Obviously,
Where shall I put it here?
I don't know. No, don't put it there because the light will flash off the mirror.
Tell you what, put it there.
Yeah, you can do.
Oh, you can see that reflecting off the refrigerator. Oh my god, it is.
Well, whoever's supposedly haunting this house, if you can make yourself.
You know why I'm pointing that out?
What? Oh, why?
Because
They're fake.
you just said I can't see a thing in here. It's so dark. It's so dark. I can't see anything. It's fucking broad daylight. That's why the room looks so bright. If it were actually dark
you can
and
see
it had
nothing.
night vision on it, it wouldn't look that way. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, they're
But
full of shit.
Even there, they're lying because they're telling you they can't see anything because it's too dark. It's broad fucking daylight. You can see the sun on the wall right there.
No.
This is talking. I can't hear it. It's very quiet.
Neither can I, thank fuck. The reason it's talking is because it's a spirit box. It's what they do. It scans and sweeps backwards through. You've got a radio, and if you put it on scan, it'll move left to right. If you imagine an old radio in your car and you turn the dial to the right through the radio stations to find your radio station, that's what this does automatically, but it goes the other way. It doesn't play anything backwards, so if you get a word, it's a ghost. That's a myth. It literally moves the bar backwards. I mean, these have gone into a undisclosed location. They've been called in because of a haunting, and they don't know how their equipment works. Like, he can't even get the spirit box to work. Don't allow people into your house to do a paranormal investigation if you're scared of it, if they don't know how their equipment works.
Put it in a suite.
Oh my god, these guys are idiots.
Very loud. You still really?
And what gets me is the fact that Beardo didn't notice that. I caught something Beardo missed. The fact that it's fucking broad daylight outside because they showed the window and you can clearly see how bright and sunny it is outside. And the room is clearly being lit by sunlight. Artificial light and sunlight don't give off the same light. And the light is reflecting off of his skin, which tells me the room is not dark. He's lying. He can see just fine. Right, Kiwi?
Just do my head in this. Put a solar speed.
Ooh, a shitload of orbs then, at least 3 or 4.
It's dust.
It could be. It could be dust particles. We've got to keep an open mind.
No, I don't think
But
it's very clean. The house is clean.
it's a very clean house.
Okay.
But for what I'm seeing here,
oh my god.
There's no insects in the house. There's a lot of orbs flying everywhere, Jared.
Those are not orbs.
That's on 3.
Seriously, around you now where you're talking, these orbs.
You know what?
One's just gone right into the screen.
I think when I've been on an investigation in the past,
I wish I had a spirit box here right now to turn it on to see if it interacted with the key too. See if it caused any issues, because I bet it does.
he said a lot of ways shit happens around me. I brought some
You're gonna if it's not hard now, it fucking is.
I brought it with me. I'm a ghost magnet.
Not a buster.
Sorry, love.
God, I wouldn't want them guys to do my
This
house.
house is not clean. I know, that is brilliant. I'm honest to God, when you look back
Bunch of babbling, gaggling baboons. These idiots. They're like, oh, it's a very clean house. No, it isn't. I can see the junk all over the floor, and the trashed ass bedroom is not clean. And I saw all the clutter on top of the damn bedside tables. That is not clean. Guarantee you haven't dusted in that way.
These guys are pissing me off.
Yeah, there's no way I'd let these two idiots into my house.
on these videos, there's a lot of orbs, and it's bizarre.
Isn't it amazing how they were both holding at a constant 3 until he stepped back and it's dropped to a constant 2?
There's no voices coming through. If you want to speak to us, speak into this box. So you've got that little pod.
There's no microphone in there. They can't speak into it.
But we've got a pod here. We've got this here, and obviously, I'm sort of quite far away from it.
You can't plug a spirit box into that.
So if that goes off, we'll fly back round to it. But can't really film both. It's awkward, that mirror there. If I go near the mirror, you get the big bright thing, and it's like, whoa,
whoa, the Nelly, slow down. This house is full of demons or dust.
Whoa. Fucking hell, sorry my language, guys, but that was 3 amazing orbs.
Yeah.
Seriously, shit, Jed, this is...
Oh, joy. A camera, another broke-ass piece of equipment that is not fit for purpose. And I'll guarantee you, they're not even going to walk around with a broken Xbox piece of kit stuck to an iPad. I bet they'll...
Oh, my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. All the orbs. You know, orbs have not been proven to be paranormal. First off.
I don't count orbs. I really don't.
I don't either. And 2, that's fucking dust. And you're acting like an absolute imbecile over a couple of particles of dust flying through the air, because you can clearly see. Does that look clean to you?
Definitely not.
Or does it look cluttered as hell and like ain't nobody dusted in there ever?
It looks like dust.
It's dust.
But like I said, I don't count orbs.
Yeah, I don't trust the validity of orbs.
Me either.
Use a phone app for it.
There's some big orbs coming on.
Right, if there's any spirit here, touch this device, it will go off and we'll be able to hear you.
I'll speak.
God, these guys are morons.
I'll speak into that.
That's still on 3.
I'm fucking serious. These orbs are... what could be... Wow. What could be causing them? Come and stand here. Just watch what I'm looking at.
Well, let's
Just
see.
look what
It is
Look around dirt.
I'm looking at.
Did you see that? He goes, it is dust.
It is.
And it's caused by him stomping around all over the place, moving shit around constantly, stirring up dust, you idiot.
God, these guys are idiots. I can't stand idiots. I'm sorry. It just gets on my nerves.
Yeah, but they go, oh, every 5 seconds. I'm sorry, but when you're investigating a house, actually investigating, not just being idiots, things don't happen back to back like that. Every 30 seconds you find something. No. It could take you hours if you get anything at all of authentic evidence. You don't know.
I mean, this has been active since we started the investigation. Just watch what keeps going around. I mean, one flew across then. Just keep watching. Yeah. There's another one. Yeah, it's like, yeah. Just keep watching. It's too big to be. They're all shapes and sizes, that's the thing. Yeah. Just keep watching. Screamer. Yeah. They are. What the fuck are they?
That looked like an insect. That did just look like a little tiny, like a fruit fly, just zip in an archway. I don't know if I can get through this. I thought the bedroom was haunted. Why are they in the living room?
Started this and it's
That's
like
what
all
I'm wondering.
here.
Something little kid
It's
was
the
haunted. Why are they
look at
doing
the
it in the
state of the
living room?
place. When you zoomed in on your REM pod, you could see all the dust and dirt on there. Look
made
at
no
all this
difference.
stuff all over the floor. I'm not passing judgment on somebody's cleanliness of their house, but I am passing judgment on you claiming everything is a. Ooh, it's an orb. It's not. It's dust and insects with light refraction. Ooh, look at the different shapes and sizes. It's how close it is to the camera, how far away it is to the camera, how the light catches it.
What's that? Yeah, get the little sensor balls. Fucking.
They're not sensor balls. They're fucking cat balls. They sold as cat balls. They're listed online as cat
Well,
balls. They're a
that's
toy
like-
for cats.
By the way, love, you haven't got a ghost, but you got mice. Sorry. You got mice. It's terrible.
I
You
guess
just tried to
cat balls
jet a mind trick.
investigate,
That
but
shit
I
stopped.
don't really
Didn't listen though.
believe them as much.
Come from underneath the fireplace. Oh shit. Whoa, that's a good orb. Another one. Another one. Ooh, I like them balls.
That
You
doesn't
like them?
sound
You
right.
like-
Those, they haven't moved, you idiot. I'm sorry, if you set a ball on the ground and if you take a heavy step, they'll move.
Oh yeah.
It's not paranormal at all. These dudes are stupid. I'm gonna see if there's comments. Yeah, I'm gonna add a comment. I can't.
Tell her. Motherfucker. Oh, sorry. I'm having problems with seeing holes in gates. Trying to do a fence.
Do what?
I was talking falling.
Most haunted, the dark secret.
What's this about?
He exposes most haunted.
Ooh. Say my accent, fuck it.
That was filled with scandals, accusations of fakery, and shocking revelations from former cast and crew. Today, I'm deep diving into the controversy surrounding Most Haunted. You could say it plagued the show. From faked paranormal activity to bitter disputes with its star medium, Derek Acora. Most Haunted first aired in May 2002, and it was led by Yvette Fielding, a children's TV presenter, and her husband, Carl Beatty. Carl Beatty being a producer and the owner of Andix TV Productions. They, along with a team of psychic mediums, investigators, and parapsychologists, ventured into some of the UK's most haunted locations. And the show quickly gained a huge following, with viewers fascinated by the seemingly paranormal encounters. But while fans are glued to the screens, skeptics and experts were beginning to raise doubts about the authenticity of the events portrayed in the show. And it wasn't long before cracks started to appear in the show's creepy facade. One of the most damaging blows that came to the show came from Dr. Kieran O'Keefe, who is a parapsychologist and also was the show's resident skeptic. O'Keefe was brought into the show to bring scientific reason into the investigations, and he grew increasingly uncomfortable with what he saw as staged paranormal activity. In a now famous 2005 interview with The Mirror, O'Keefe exposed the inner workings of the show, claiming that much of the ghostly activity was either faked or exaggerated. He even revealed a trick that he played on Derek Acora, the show's lead medium, in a way to test his authenticity. The spooky truth, Most Haunted exposed as a fake by the star that claims Derek Acora's show features showmanship and dramatics. Parapsychologist Dr. Kieran O'Keefe lifted the lid on the ghost hunting series. The TV show that spooked millions with its footage of hauntings and poltergeists has been exposed as fake by one of its own stars. Resident parapsychologist Dr. Kieran O'Keefe has sensationally lifted the lid on the ghost hunting series Most Haunted and claims that the public are being deceived by showmanship and dramatics. He accuses the show's medium Derek Acora of hoodwinking viewers by pretending to communicate with spirits and obtaining information about locations prior to filming. The Mirror has also obtained unedited footage which appears to show presenter Yvette Fielding and her husband faking paranormal occurrences such as ghostly bumps and knocks. Most Haunted has quickly achieved cult status since it was launched in 2002 and is Living TV's most successful program. Millions of viewers tune in regularly to watch ex-Blue Peter girl Yvette and her team.
Oh, you did? Was it sourdough?
Ooh, this is good. Hi, Dean.
I mean, dill seasoning is good for a lot of things, and bread making is one of them. Put a little bit of dill in your sourdough, and it will, I mean, it really sets it off. What kind of bread did you make? Oh, you shithead. He made dill dough. Get it?
Oh my god.
That was a good one.
That was a good one.
Thank you for that one, Dean. You fucking dildo. You okay, Kiwi? Oh no, you're good. Dildo. I'm so fucking immature. It took me a minute, but I was like, oh shit. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. I gotta give it to you.
Team of ghost hunters spend the night in some of Britain's most haunted locations. It has made Acora, who claims to be guided by an Ethiopian spirit guide.
You've got to be kidding me. Are you dead ass right now? They muted you for making that joke. That is like the punniest of puns.
Yeah,
How can you
really.
be mad at that? If that makes you mad, you need therapy because
Oh, shit, that was good.
you take shit way too serious if that made you mad. That's so stupid. I'm sorry. People are so sensitive. It's definitely not sour.
Ah,
I needed that. Thanks, man.
that was a good one.
It was.
They called Sam into one of the country's best known psychics. Tonight, the show will start its biggest ever live vigil, a 4-hour night Halloween special from East London, following the murderous trail of Jack the Ripper. Yvette Fielding has said of the show, which is made by her husband, Carl Beatty's.
Well, you can come in here and make your funny, inappropriate jokes anytime you want to, because that was funny as shit. I don't care what those other 7 people think. That was some funny shit.
That was.
I'm gonna have to do that. What's funnier is that there were actually 7 people who actually muted him for that joke. Tell me you're a sensitive fucking snowflake without telling me you're a sensitive snowflake. Loose cunt. Can't with a straight face. Loose cunt. I've heard that one before. Loose cunt. Did you hear on the news what loose cunt did? Did they fire without consent? Was it consensual? Consensual.
Production company Antix Productions. There is no acting in this program. None more.
That loose cunt threw a fit over the dildo. I guess that would make it sourdough then, wouldn't it? With her salty ass.
Whatsoever. Everything you see and hear is real. It's not made up. It's not acted. But our investigation reveals how the program uses careful editing to mislead viewers and, on at least one occasion, has even lied about the location of filming. Kieran, a lecturer in the paranormal at Liverpool's Hope University, knows speaking out will probably put an end to his media career, but he believes viewers should know the truth. He says he isn't the only member of the crew who feels viewers are being cheated. Other crew members have been irked by Derek and what's going on, because it turns what should be a serious investigation into a laughing matter. And our exclusive footage shows other members of the team occasionally forget they are on camera. One of the clips, later edited out, shows Carl push an unwitting sound man in the dark and pretend it was a poltergeist attack. In the remaining footage, he says, "Shit, did you feel that?" Yvette says, "Are you alright? What happened?" Carl, "I felt something touch me on the shoulder." Soundman, "I felt something hit me." And in another edited clip with medium Ian Lawman, Yvette is seen on camera making a deep sigh. And in that scene, in the scene that eventually went to air, Ian, after Yvette's sigh, says, "What is that noise?" And Yvette says, "What noise? Like a moan? Ian, breathing or something?" And Yvette replies, "I heard like a ah."
No, I've never read that book. I think Dean has to be a dad because those are some pretty classic dad jokes. Well, I applaud your dad jokes. I love cheesy jokes. Like, I get people legit mad at me because I tell corny jokes. Hey, Dean, do you know why they put barcodes on all the naval ships in Norway? Right. Do you know why they put barcodes on all the naval ships in Norway? Nope. So they can scan the Navy in. That's legit the cheesiest joke ever.
Now, this is important. She covers her face and says, mm-hmm. And as she lifts her head, says, now listen to what comes next.
What noise? Like a moon? Breathing or something. I heard like a... That's what I heard.
That's exactly what you heard. Because Yvette made that noise. Kieran recalls, as we walked into the bedroom, Derek touched the bed and came out with extremely accurate information. He insisted he got all of the information just from touching the bed, but it was the wrong bed. Antics Production claims the mediums have no idea where they're filming or know any details about the history of the locations. But Kieran says,
Hey, Dark. Dark.
Yes.
Why did the chicken cross the road?
To the other side.
Nope. Ask the chicken, you nosy wanker.
Those little nosy friends again.
Ask the chicken, you nosy wanker. That is pretty interesting. So apparently they were like off camera just beating the shit out of each other and recording the aftermath, claiming it was paranormal. What are you doing? Are you gaming? I'm just gonna whoop you.
Who me? No, huh?
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm just sitting here.
Oh, thank you, Dean. No, Panda, that's just sad now. Hey, I can tell my cheesy jokes if you want to. In order to punish you, I can just sit up here and tell bad, like, cheesy jokes.
Derek must have had prior knowledge of the locations, so he devised a plan to see if Derek was deliberately deceiving the public. While on a shoot at Bodmin Jail, he invented a long-dead South African jailer called Creed Kafer, an anagram of Derek Baker. Kieran says, I wrote the name down and asked another member of the crew to mention it to Derek before filming. I honestly didn't think Derek would take the bait, but during filming, he actually got...
Hey, you love my singing. You shush. What's the joke, April?
Please no.
April's got us a joke. We're all waiting in anticipation. No pressure. Only in Panda's stream does the stream get derailed with dad jokes. I love it though. Okay, so you wake up, you make a sandwich. What do you open first? Bread, jelly, or PB?
Bread.
Yeah, the bread. Easy Street, your eyes.
Oh my god. That's a good one.
I like that one. That was cute.
Got possessed by my fictional character.
Is he telling you something, Derek? Just give me your name.
On the next shoot at Prido Place in Cornwall, he made up another fiction.
What the hell was that? I know he wasn't pretending to be channeling something because literally all he did was go, Queen, King. I thought maybe he was having an episode. What the fuck was that? Did you see that? I'm channeling. What the hell was that?
Is he telling you something, Derek? Just give me your name.
He looks like he's trying to like push out a fat one.
That's the sound he makes.
Oh, it sounds like he's really trying to fire that one off. He's really trying to just launch that fat bastard down the toilet canal. Like he looks constipated, like he's really, really trying to push his poo out.
On the next shoot at Prido Place in Cornwall, Kieran made up another fictional character, Highwayman.
Derek, just give me your name.
Oh, diarrhea. Oh. that, folks, is the face of constipation.
Yeah, definitely.
On the next shoot at Prido Place in Cornwall, Kieran made up another.
Oh, I understand now. He was going queef, queef, queef. Right, Dean? But he's like, queef, queef. Looks like he's trying to take a shit. He keeps randomly saying queef.
Character, Highwayman Rick Edels, an anagram of Derek Lies, and sure enough, Derek made contact with the dead outlaw. Kieran says, in my professional opinion, we're not dealing with a genuine medium. When Derek is possessed, he's doing it consciously. All we are seeing is showmanship and dramatics. Kieran went a step further at Craigivar Castle near Aberdeen. I made up stories about Richard the Lionheart, a witch, and Richard's apparition appearing to walk through a wardrobe. The lion, the witch, and the wardrobe. True to form, Derek mentioned all of Kieran's stories, even though Richard I reigned 500 years before Craigivar Castle was built. The final straw came last month when Most Haunted presented a 3-night special from Manchester. On the second evening, the show claimed to be broadcasting live from the site of Cheadle's Victorian Asylum, a place where, according to presenter David Bull, thousands died in torment. In fact, they were a derelict remains of Barnes Convalescence Home where nobody died in torment. Kieran remembers, Derek was communicating with spirits that sounded as if they'd been in an asylum, but it was never an asylum. Yesterday, the Mirror confronted Derek Akora with Kieran's allegations, and he told us, I've worked with Kieran for many shows, and he's got every right to say what he says. Derek then saying, however, it does shock and surprise me. Not only do I believe that I'm a genuine medium, I live my work 24 hours a day. If I thought that I wasn't a true medium, I wouldn't work as one. A spokesperson for Living TV said Kieran O'Keefe has worked as the show's official skeptic for 18 months, and during this time has not brought any of his concerns to our attention. Living TV has not seen any of your filmed evidence, but will fully investigate your claims. In another interview, Kieran bluntly stated, "In my professional opinion, the majority of the show is a fraud." And he went on to describe instances where crew members were encouraged to create noises off camera or to manipulate the environment to produce paranormal activity. And according to O'Keefe, this was all done just to keep up the drama and to ensure that there was enough tension to keep viewers hooked. Derek Acorah was one of Most Haunted's biggest draws in the early years, renowned for his psychic abilities and his dramatic possessions. His flamboyant style making him a fan favourite, but it also attracted criticism. And after the Creed Kiefer incident, Acorah's reputation took a huge hit. And after this embarrassing exposure, tensions between Acorah and the show's creators, Yvette Fielding and Carl Beatty, escalated. In 2005, Acorah left the show under less than friendly circumstances, while the official statement said that Derek had left the show to pursue his own career. But insiders reported a very different story. Acorah allegedly was forced out due to mounting concerns about his credibility. Acorah himself later spoke about his departure from the show. In an interview with The Sun in 2008, he suggested that the show manipulated him and set him up to fail. He claimed they didn't like how big I was becoming. It felt like I was used as a scapegoat when things went wrong. Acorah then went on to star in his own TV shows, but the shadow of his Most Haunted exit always followed him. As the controversies grew, more former employees of Most Haunted came forward with their own stories. They added fuel to the fire. One of the most damning testimonials came from former cameraman Julian Clegg. Julian worked with the show in its very early years. In an interview with the Daily Mail, November the 3rd, 2005, Clegg claimed that the supernatural paranormal activity was often staged or exaggerated. He recalls being told to throw stones off camera or to manipulate objects to seem like they were seemingly moving of their own accord. And according to Clegg, we were constantly encouraged to enhance the action. It was never about the truth, only about making good television. And Clegg wasn't the only former crew member to speak out.
Yeah, he was on Most Haunted.
Wow.
The reason I remember that show is because of how stupid it was.
Yeah, I remember that show too.
The only reason I used to watch that show was to make fun of that guy, because every time he got quote unquote possessed, it was just utterly ridiculous and funny. I laughed at him. Like, constantly laughed at him because of how ridiculous and stupid he looked, sitting there on camera pretending to be possessed by something. When it was clear it was just theatrics and him making up bullshit. It was clearly fake, and so fake that it was funny. Yeah, me too, Easy Street. Yeah, I believe that Ed and Lorraine Warren were legit. They laid the groundwork for much of what we know today, and they didn't make a mockery of it. Oh my God, Dean, I am so jealous of you. I love Lorraine and Ed. Like, I love a lot of the stories that we have today because of them, you know. Hey, Aries.
Hi, Aries.
And I have a lot of respect for them. Me too. The museum, yeah. I would give my left nut to go see that museum. I don't have any nuts, but if I were to have nuts, I would give my left one to visit that museum. All the Conjuring movies and Annabelle movies and Nun movies are about the cases they worked. They even worked the Arnie Johnson case, I believe it was, that the Amityville Horror. They investigated that house.
Yes.
It's not open anymore. It is. It is pretty good. I've watched all of it, like, from start to finish. I watched the documentary made on them too. It was really good.
Sound technician Jason Carl, who was part of the original crew, also expressed his concerns about the direction that the show was taking. In an interview with The Guardian on November the 12th, 2005, Carl described how natural sounds like creaking floorboards or the wind were amplified and edited in post-production to sound more sinister. The goal was to make everything spooky, even if there was a perfectly logical explanation, he explained. Several former employees alleged that Carl Beatty and Yvette Fielding held an iron grip over the show, and those that ever questioned their methods were forced out or fired. One whistleblower that wished to remain anonymous told the Sunday People on the 9th of April 2006 that they were let go after refusing to participate in the fabrication of paranormal activity. According to the whistleblower, I couldn't in good conscience be part of something that was blatantly misleading the public. When I raised concerns, I was told that if I didn't like it, I could leave. Eventually, I was pushed out. Despite the avalanche of accusations, Yvette Fielding and Carl Beatty constantly denied any
Hey, Weston. Good to see you.
wrongdoing. In numerous interviews, Fielding has defended the integrity of the show, insisting that the investigations were genuine and that any paranormal activity caught on camera was real. In a 2008 interview with The Sun, Fielding hit back against the allegations, stating, "I'm sick of people saying we faked things. We're doing a real investigation. What happens, happens." She also dismissed Dr. Kieran O'Keefe's claims as the words of a bitter skeptic, accusing him of trying to discredit the show for personal gain. But Fielding and Beatty's firm stance has done very little to quell the controversy. But their loyal fan base stayed intact for years. Even after the numerous scandals, Most Haunted continued to show new episodes, proving that even bad publicity couldn't derail the show. Despite the scandals, Most Haunted maintained a dedicated fan base for many, many years. However, with new shows like Taps, Ghost Adventures, and Paranormal Lockdown, Most Haunted's show became formulaic. And with the rise of the internet forums, and social media, viewers became more vocal about their suspicions regarding the authenticity of what we were seeing. By the mid-2010s, Most Haunted was no longer the phenomena it once was, but it remains a cultural icon in the paranormal world. It influenced me. It influenced a lot of the teams that I work with. Its impact on the ghost hunting genre is undeniable, even as questions of its honesty persist. So, was Most Haunted truly capturing supernatural encounters, or was it all just smoke and mirrors? The testimony of former employees added with the damning Creed Kafer incident, it paints a troubled picture of the show that seemed to have been more focused on entertainment than a genuine paranormal investigation. Whether you believe in Most Haunted or not, and I don't, it serves as a cautionary tale about the blurred line between entertainment and reality. Now, my feelings on Most Haunted are already out there for people to see. I've done a live stream. I'm going to do a few more live streams about them. I've covered them in separate episodes where I've debunked footage. But let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think? Do you think they started initially as a real thing? Or were they all...
What do you think? Do you think they started this with, you know, integrity? Or do you think they started out to manipulate the masses?
That I don't know. I just wow. You just never know who to trust with those videos like that.
Yeah, I don't believe them. I don't believe they were ever honest.
Yeah, there's way too many fakes.
Yeah, I have a hard time believing anything from them because too much, you know. Oh, look, scary ghost videos.
Oh yeah.
It's goose pimples.
I'm getting sleepy. Try my best. Stay up.
Okay. If you need to go to bed, you can.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to stay awake.
It's okay. I know you're tired.
Yeah.
Activity tends to be
I didn't sleep very
to
good last night.
self-slamming doors. Occasionally, you'll get a little bit of harmless possession.
Yeah. I'm not going to be on too much longer myself. Probably I'm tired. I'll probably do a longer one tomorrow. I may be on another hour, but beyond that, I'll be bed soon. But this guy, it's Goose Pimples. He's really good. He has some really good videos. If you want to check him out. He generally don't do recycled stuff, so usually if you see it on his channel, it's not the same old shit. But he has some pretty good videos.
Huh.
I know Nuke's top 10 or top 5 or whatever. They have a lot of
top 5. I like him.
Like a lot of those videos are staged, and I like how he puts it. He's like, well, it's up to you whether to believe it or not. But you know, he'll give
Usually
you.
when I'm watching him, I'm like, fake, not fake, fake, fake.
Yeah, we can play fact or cap with this one.
But the thing that makes this video different from the rest is that it kept on happening. According to the original uploader, paranormal happenings were flying thick and fast almost constantly in his house. But there was a whole year of big fat nothing before it all ramped up again. So, to finally catch this paranormal prankster on film, he set up some cameras in his room and hit record overnight. And the footage he caught is hair-raising. Take a look.
I'm gonna say that particular clip right there looks staged, because if you notice when the drawer come out of the dresser, it came out at a downward angle and like downward and outward, as if it were being pulled by like a string or something.
Right.
Thank you, Aries. And Aries has posted a link to this guy's channel.
I subscribed.
And I encourage you all to go and subscribe.
Oh, that's being pulled. Come on. Definitely. Yeah.
And after all that, all hell seems to break loose.
How anybody could be sitting in it? We're sitting behind it. No, there wasn't. There's nothing in that drawer. Yeah.
This is some of the most active and obvious poltergeist footage we have seen. But is it real? You can shout.
Yeah, that's staged. There ain't no way one he was sleeping through all that. When he jumped at just the door opening, it's staged. I'm calling Cap too.
Strings till you're blue in the face, but it would be incredibly hard to open and close all of the drawers when they're built in such
beside it and take the back
a
off.
way without handles.
Simple.
And
Well, all you have to do is invent a pulley system.
Yeah.
And you can easily pull that off. It's bullshit. We're just calling bullshit. There's no way. When he doesn't wake up with all that going on, that damn big ass dresser moving all the way around the fucking room, doing the do-si-do.
And there was nothing in the drawers. Did you notice that?
Yeah. I think it's somebody on the other side of that dresser.
Yep.
Because you can't see the bottom half of that. Somebody could be back there, pushing them out from the sides. And opening them and closing it and then somebody's clearly pushing the thing around. And the dresser drawer flying out, fish string, the shoes sliding across the floor, shoestring.
Or hell, even remote control for that.
Well, no, it was just that it was being dragged.
Oh.
And you could tell. No. This is, no.
Yeah.
I do too. Yeah, probably.
Okay, Kiwi, hurry back.
This is Peter Pan trying to catch his shadow. Dude, this is so fake, it's funny. Like, he doesn't wake up when the drawer goes flying across the room.
Exactly.
Or the keys, or the Tupperware jar, or the other random shit that got tossed over the camera conveniently in frame. How funny is it that everything that happened just happened to be perfectly in frame? No.
To move the cabinet around, the shoe could really be anything, but the mask vibrating and the subsequent chaos all seem near impossible to pull off without some kind of expertise in videography and fake paranormal content. It does, however, seem a little sus that he wakes up to every single bit of activity. He might just be a really light sleeper.
Morgues are never very happy places, but at the very least, they're normally clean and efficient. You're safe in the knowledge that the dead are at peace and being tended to, unless, God forbid, they were lugged into this morgue we are about to show you. According to the reporter in the video, the bodies in this morgue were dumped there and left for a long time, to the point that they smelled, and he commented that the varying conditions of the bodies were complicated, which isn't a great way to start, but surprisingly, that isn't even the creepiest part about this video. Take a look.
¿Vamos? Bueno, estamos en interiores de la morgue del Hospital de Clínicas, pues y las condiciones en las que se encuentran los cuerpos ya sin vida son complicadas. Les invito a que vean estas imágenes. Se siente un olor
Finger.
What on earth happened there? A room full of bodies.
I believe that actually happened.
That could happen.
Because the way the lock bounced like that, and he was on live broadcasting.
Yeah, it could be magnets.
Editing that out. Well, I don't think so. It would bounce back down like that.
Yeah, the door would got me.
Yeah, I think this one's real. I'm going to call real.
Bodies and a padlock that moves around all by itself is not a good combination. While there could be any number of reasons it moved the way it did, none of them really make any sense. If it were the wind, then we would have seen movement elsewhere, like in the guy's hair, for example. And if it was someone hiding off screen, or a string messing with the padlock, then we would have seen some kind of shadow somewhere, right? So,
Not
who
really.
or what moved it? There are no further developments regarding this clip. We don't know what hospital this was, where it was, or what actually happened. But considering the sheer horror of what was going on inside, we can only assume it was terrible enough to be featured on the news and subsequently closed down.
For all the videos we have ever posted on this channel, this one might just clear them all. All the levitating items, the knives thrown across the kitchen, door swinging open.
I've seen this one before, and this one looks legit. The backstory to this is terrifying. That this family were terrorized by this entity, and I do believe that this actually happened. Because these people didn't come to the platform for any kind of notoriety. It was hosted by a third party. And the shit that happens here is insane. But yeah, I'm calling, I believe, the last video with a healthy amount of skepticism. But I still feel like that was
I'm skeptical.
Welcome back, Dean. But this video, I've watched it and I can't explain it. It's creepy.
It is all cleared by this masterpiece of true paranormal activity. Yeah, okay, all right, maybe not. But with the amount of gear this guy is on, He probably feels like a ghost. This crackergeist was recorded parading across a ranch on a trail camera. Who knew ghosts?
Did he just say crack a ghost?
Crackergeist.
Crackergeist. Apparently it's a crackhead. But easy street. That's just now. Megan and laughing. This is not the video I thought it was. I thought this was the video of the house that they showed for a minute. I have no idea what the fuck this
Okay.
is. Besides a crackhead that's walking through the grass.
I'm heading for the bed, guys.
Be
I'm
addicted to
tired.
more than just eerie whispers and haunting howls.
You guys have a good night.
You have beautiful eyes.
Night, Amanda.
Good night, Dart. Love you.
Have a good one. Bye, guys. Bye, room.
Bye.
It's like we've got a case of paranormal rehab on our hands, Ben.
Hide and seek is a game that goes back centuries. And when you think about it, it's sort of horrifying. But it's a staple in a lot of people's lives, especially when they have kids. So when this family decided to play the good old-fashioned game, they didn't expect anything to go wrong until this happened.
What do you mean?
The door just.
I know, but we're downstairs.
Are these downstairs?
No. Yes, we're.
He sounded genuinely surprised when the door busted open, and his wife sounds pretty honest when she told him they were all hiding downstairs. There is always a chance one of the kids was hiding in the closet, waiting for their cue to push the door and just stayed crouched out of sight of the camera. But kids are infamously difficult actors, and there would have been at least a giggle, surely. Do you think it was all planned out? Or was someone or something else crashing the party?
Imagine taking a job as a security guard at a school.
No, I'm not taking a job as a security guard because I'm 5 foot tall. So what the fuck am I gonna do? The ghost. The ghost is filming. We're assholes. You know that? Aries, did you know that we're assholes? The ghost was filming. One of these days, I'm gonna get haunted because a ghost took offense to one of my wise ass jokes. I know, right? One of these days, I'm gonna be, reviewing some footage or something, and the ghost is gonna be, tuning in and be like, I am seriously offended by your amount of sass, so I'm just gonna haunt you for all eternity because you pissed me off. I'm gonna get haunted one day because I pissed off a ghost. I can see it happening.
Because it's the least place you expect anyone to rob, only to encounter something more unnerving than what even bank guards face. Take a look at what this security guard caught on CCTV during one of his night shifts at a high school in Mexico.
God damn it. Fucking hiccups. Great. I've got the hiccups. Dude, that's a fucking picture. That is not a ghost. That is a picture of a ghost. They were so lazy that they couldn't be bothered to edit in a ghost. They literally took a still shot of a creepy kid and like fucking plastered it somewhere. That's not even a ghost. That's a picture of a alleged ghost.
While monitoring the screens, this dude noticed someone or something was trying to get in. The figure, whatever the hell it was, stared straight into the camera with a chilling, "I'm coming to get you" look. The figure appeared to be walking with stretched limbs and arms. Who or what could be creeping around a school in the dead of night? Get this, the school gate was shut tight, meaning anyone who wanted to get in would have to break in first. So, could this be one of the students taking a prank way too far, or something very sinister? You decide. Remember that scene in It, where Tim Curry or Bill Skarsgård, depending on your persuasion, lures little Georgie to his ultimate demise through the sewer grate? Well, that situation isn't exclusively left to the silver screen, because these guys caught themselves staring into the same cavernous depth, just like Georgie, except they didn't actually expect a monster to pop out.
Te lo juro que había algo ahí
Nos
abajo.
devolvemos.
Créame que yo no los hubiera llamado si hubiera visto algo. Es que yo iba pasando por acá y esa vuelta está destapada. Obviamente
No, si es risa,
se
güey.
asoma. No
No
sé,
te risa, güey.
ahí en la parte al...
What the hell is that? All we can make out are two black eyes and a strange alien-like head shape.
That was not me screaming, by the way. That was squeaks of bravery. I was bravely roaring. Right? Yeah, right? I know. I didn't scream. I just want that noted. Can we note that I didn't scream? That wasn't me. That was squeaks of bravery. Because I'm brave. I'm so brave. I just want that, documented. How brave I am.
Although we do have to say, it looks a little too good to be true. It's so still and moves so easily. Almost as if it's some kind of mask someone just popped out over the ledge. There is no further context we can find online about this, so we'll throw it out to you. Can you find anything about this clip? Do you have any hot takes? Let us know in the comments.
While investigating a supposedly haunted puppet fashioned after an old man, the guys over on HD Paranormal decided their best bet was to record it for as long as possible, in the hopes of catching some raw paranormal footage. And, as it turns out, they caught something absolutely bone-chilling.
No worries, April. I'm about to go to bed myself, I think. I'm tired. I just got off work right before I come online, so I think I'm going to call it a night. Right? Love you guys. I'll come back tomorrow. All right, Dean. I'm trying to. It's freaking cold, let me tell you that. Got a lot of snow on the ground here. We're having to run all the heat. It's ungodly cold. And my Mustang ain't going anywhere for a couple of days. It's bad. But anyway, I will be back earlier tomorrow. I'm off tomorrow and Tuesday. So we will come back a little earlier tomorrow. I was late tonight because work and family stuff. Right, Easy Street. So we'll have a pretty lengthy stream tomorrow. All right. Love you guys. Bye.